right. Thank you so much. Please permit me to use this opportunity to thank you specifically, Madam Nicola, for giving us a listening ear and the whole team of Channels Television. I also want to take a moment to appreciate the federal government who have given us this opportunity, which without it, we wouldn't be here today discussing the Bilateral Education and Business Scholarship. So I would love to have like 5 minutes to give an overview, a holistic view of what the scholarship entails so that the whole nation would understand the part of the federal government as well as the parts of the host countries. So the Bilateral Education Agreement, as the name implies, includes Nigeria and other host countries. In this case, we have Morocco, Algeria, Russia, we have China, among other countries. So Nigeria will send scholars to these various countries and then to study different courses such as medicine, nursing, and other engineering courses. These host countries are responsible for the tuition of us, the scholars. They are also responsible for accommodation, and they also give a little stipend every month, as the case may be. It varies from one country to another, while Nigeria is responsible to provide a little stipend to augment feeding, to augment transportation, among other things. So Nigeria is responsible to pay $500 per month to each scholar, as well as $200 for health insurance, that's annually, and a $500 medical allowance to medical students, and then one clothing of $250, among other things. So ever since we left, this scholarship has specific problems. Mostly, we have problems from the part of the Nigerian government in sustaining and paying the $500 per month to each scholars. So this is a persistent issue that predates even this current government. So the host country's responsibilities, to be fair, they have discharged their responsibilities with effectiveness. We have never had a situation where a student will complain that his school fees has not been paid. His school fees are always paid. For the accommodation, most of the countries do provide accommodation, with the exception of Morocco, which did not provide accommodation to scholars. So in Morocco, our scholars have to go and rent. And a survey was done sometimes back in 2020 when I was the president of the Student Union. We found out that a student pays around $200 to $300 per month on accommodation, electricity bills, among other utilities. So, and that is being paid from the $500 the Nigerian government pays. Also from the host countries, they also provide stipends. And this is to make clarification to the press release by the minister. I don't know where the information is coming from, so that he would understand that the countries do not support the students in the same quantity. There are countries that their economy is viable, such as China, Serbia, among others. And then we have countries whose economy is not that viable and do not support students with as much stipends as others. So I will give you this table. In Morocco, a scholar in Morocco, the Moroccan government pays around 120 United States dollars every 2 months. So that is about 60 United States dollars in a month. And in Russia, a student gets about 24 United States dollars monthly. In Algeria, a student gets 70 United States dollars for the whole academic session. And in Venezuela, they do not get anything at all. In Serbia, because they are postgraduate scholars, they get 150 United States dollars monthly, while in China, they get about $410 for master's scholars, and then $480 for PhD scholars. In Hungary, and undergraduate and master's scholars get 105 euros monthly, while for PhD students, they get 240 euros monthly. We must emphasize that PhD students have family that they cater for, hence why their money is higher compared to other scholars. So this is to correct the impression that BEA scholars are not living in heaven, as the press release stated by the minister actually said. Also, the host countries are not also providing health insurance. Only China and Hungary provide health insurance. So every other country has to pay for their own health insurance. Now, the government in the press release of the minister stated that all backlogs have been paid up until December 2024. However, from our records, that is not the case. So the government is still owing scholars 4 months of 2023, which is from September to December. The 8 months of 2023 that was paid from January to August still had a shortfall of about 1,000 United States dollars, which is equivalent to like 2 months. So in 2023, the scholars are still being owed about 6 months, roughly. And in 2024, only at the point of payments, the scholarship board sent us this letter indicate that the payment is going to be reduced by 56%.
All right, Mr.
So
only I see that you have a lot of information to share. We'll come back to you because of time. Let's take it to Dr. Paul. let's hear your own side of the story as well. I know from the description we have here as a spokesperson of the parents of BEA scholars, medical director, yes, parents of BEA scholars as well. Maybe, is it the same version of events in this scenario in that sense? Because we had the Minister of Education made a few remarks about some of these things, and which I'm going to reference based on the new policy of government. But let's hear from you. Dr. Paul, the question is for you. If you can unmute your device so we can hear you. All right, Mr. Dahata, apparently, let's come back to you. And I know that, so some of the things you have listed, we've heard, that's why we allowed you to list them, just so that the people in authorities can, compare notes and look at the books. But since this has happened, how has the student, have they been hanging in? Because there's also right now some review in terms of our national policy called the Nigeria First policy, where some of these scholarships, in that sense, may be reviewed, and it may actually affect scholarship like yours. I'm not talking about those of you who are there already, in the future.
It's actually really suffering, especially, like I said, for the case of Morocco, where we pay rent. I shared some videos to you through your producer to show the devastating state of the students. Landlords are chasing students out of the house. Students are being jam-packed in one apartment that maybe the parents can afford to pay. The dollar to naira exchange rate is no more feasible for our parents to support us. And then the contract that we have also with the government does not allow us or permit us to work. Therefore, we are really, really suffering. And I must appreciate the Nigerian embassy in the various countries who have been supportive of the students. I will give an instance where a student got sick, and then the parents do not have the money to pay for it. It's in Morocco, and the student have had a complicated appendix. So the embassy have to lend to the students 10,000 dirhams for him to undertake that operation. And it's a complicated operation. Yet the parent has to source something to send it. So we do not have health insurance, and then the landlords are on our head. We're not able to focus on our studies, and we kept pleading and begging with the government. The only way we are able to reach out to the government is through the Director of Federal Scholarship Board. She kept assuring us that the money would be paid. But as I speak to you, the last payments we got was around September, which was basically slashed. And then we had debt of landlord that we use that money to clear. So we're still just struggling, and nothing has come up. The minister, we've not been able to speak with him. All that we heard from him is the press release saying that they are cancelling the scholarship, saying that they have paid us till 2024. All efforts to meet him, even from the side of our parents, prove abortive. So he is not even engaging us to hear what is our problem and what we expect from the government. With regards to the Nigerian policy, I think we don't have much to say on that regard. All that we are saying is the government should look in our own direction. Since we have an existing contract and we are in these various countries, we are suffering. Landlords look at it. Landlords are chasing us out of our house. People are falling sick, and the government is not doing much. So let them try to do right by us. And it raised the question that, are they actually cancelling it because it is the Nigerian policy that was adopted just a few days ago, or are they cancelling it because they are not able to sustain the scholars that are there? Why? Because in 2023, we were not paid. In 2024, the money was slashed by 56%. And then in 2025, what we are hearing is that we are cancelling the scholarship. So us that are there, how sure are we that the government is going to continue to fend for us and actually support us? So we are calling on the minister to listen to us. We are calling on the minister to engage us, to speak with our parents, and to speak with the scholars union leaders, and to look our way in order to solve out these issues and come to the help of and rescue of the students. The scholarship is a very, very important tool. I just see it as an example of a parent and a father. Probably the father say, I don't want to send you to this private school, it's so expensive, so I'm going to switch you to this private school. The child does not have the right to fight the father, and that's our case. So we do not have the right to fight the government on their own decision. However, as patriotic Nigerians, we can advise the government on what we think it is right for them to do. What happens? This scholarship has been in existence since 1970s. What happened to the bilateral relationship between Nigeria and these host countries? What happened when they noticed that Nigerians are no more sending students? So it's actually a bilateral relationship, something, and then the Nigerians were also sending, it's not a waste of resources. Myself, I'm my final year of medicine. Tell what the parents we have, his child is studying medicine in Morocco. We have the likes of Dr. Halima, who's actually doing her internship in Nigerian hospital here in the ABU Zaria. We have nurses. Do we all address those people as waste of resources? And then the international exposure we're getting helps us or places us at a better position to represent Nigeria nationally as well as, yes, sir, we are coming to you. So it gives us the opportunity to represent Nigeria nationally as well as in the global stage. Today we celebrate Dr. Ali Patil because of the international exposure, Dr. Onkozi Okonjuela, they all had international exposure, and we feel Nigeria should tap into it. I'm not supporting Nigeria to send students to study English and geography. Definitely I'm not doing so, but I'm calling on Nigeria to review the system so that we can prioritize courses that will be beneficial to Nigeria as a whole and to the students at large.